celebration here at Ramakrishna Vedanta Society of North Carolina. Today, I was just telling the kids, I was reading a quote from Swamiji where he says, "Give me few men and women who are pure and selfless, and I can shake the world." Right? Just a few men and women who are pure and selfless. Again, that's a very high bar, right? To be pure and to be selfless. Again, that's one of the goals for at the pupils of Vedanta, pupils of Practical Vedanta and Ramakrishna Mission itself, is to create those, as Swamiji would say, man-making and nation-building skills in the youth, right? And all of us also, as we share, we learn ourselves and we try to improve our lives. So this is what the purpose is, and we are hoping with this today what the kids will be sharing about Swamiji's stories, about his message, what it means to them, their significance, and how they are able to apply it to their own lives, right? Where we can all take inspiration from Swamiji's life, from your stories, and then help us and make the societies we live in a much better place. Okay, so we'll start off with Ria.
Welcome back, kids. Welcome back to the Vedanta Society Center, and I'll tell you two stories about Swamiji Vivekananda. This first story is about his meditation game. So, he is a master meditationer, and one day it was different. Today he was meditating in the corner of his house, and his sisters and brother saw a big cobra crawling into the room. He shouted, "Snake! Snake!" and little Naren was motionless, and in any motion, the snake would go and bite out at Naren. So his parents were numbed with fear, and to their big surprise, the snake crawled out of the house. When Naren opened his eyes, his sisters and brother told him about the snake. And no one saw that snake again. Now the second story is about Naren's incident at school. So Naren was a master storyteller, and he loved telling stories. So one day, he was having a class recess and telling a story to his classmates. Meanwhile, recess was over and the teacher came in to share his subject. After some time, he heard the whispering and understood the situation. He asked each student what he had been lecturing on, but not a single person could answer. Naren had a simultaneously brain. He had a half focused on the lesson and another half about the story. When the teacher asked him what he had been lecturing on, he answered correctly. Then he asked all the remaining students to stand up for being punished for not listening to his lesson. Naren also joined up and stood with his friends. The teacher asked him to sit down, but Naren replied, "No, sir, I must also stand up because it was I who was starting the discussion." This incident happened when Swami Vivekananda believed in honesty since his childhood. And that is the story about the incident in his school. Thank you, my friends. Remember, the moral of these stories is remember to have concentration, keep meditating, and believe in your honesty.
Good job, Ria. Next we'll have Ariana.
My name is Ariana, and I'm gonna read about what is Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda was many times a man of inconceivable attitude of thought and often too all appearances a living paradox, but beneath the surface of appearance, he was clearly living in an explanation of the spiritual life and understanding of the man, seemingly almost impossible, becomes almost simple when one remembers that he was a man with manifold realization. Thus, all the apparent paradoxes of his thought were reconciled by the greatness of his heart and by the consistencies of the emotional consequences. He was intentionally like a great hammer mercilessly beating down the structures of a complacent belief. Even with regard to his own mind, he was an internal iconoclast, always searching for demanding a sounder, saner, and a more comprehensive basis. He never allowed himself any intellectual ease. He peremptorily refused to be satisfied with finality in thought and ideas which by their very nature connect limitation and imperfection. Therefore, he was always on a watchtower.
Excellent. Good job. All right. Next up, we'll have Sanket. Well, do you want to go?
Yeah.
You want to share something? Okay, come over. You'll show your picture too. Yeah.
Welcome to the Vedanta Center. I have a picture for you.
Show it to everybody too.
Very nice. Let me take a picture. Let me take a picture of you.
Hold
No, hold this, hold this.
Hold it too, man.
Very nice. Very nice.
Excellent. Anything else you want to add?
More.
Okay.
So, it has eyes and eyebrows,
Yeah.
lips, everything like.
Okay.
I'll show you.
Yeah. Sure. All right. I think I got it.
So it has
Okay.
hair. So look, a neck.
Show them so that they can see. Everybody give a big round of applause for our friend here. Good job. All right. Sanket. It's going to be a tough act to follow after him, but do your best. Okay.
Hello, my name is Sanket, and today I'll be sharing the story of Swami Vivekananda's life and how he made an impact on the world. Swami Vivekananda was born in Kolkata on 12th of January 1863, known as Narendra Nath Datta. He was born with a variety of talents and passions like music, gymnastics, and meditation. After graduating college at the Calcutta University, he met Sri Ramakrishna at a temple. There, Narendra asked the master, "Sir, have you seen God?" To which Sri Ramakrishna answered, "Yes, I have. I have seen him as clearly as I see you, only in a much intenser sense." After that interaction, Narendra began his path down the spiritual guide of Sri Ramakrishna, becoming a disciple of the group. A few years later, however, Narendra's father died and Sri Ramakrishna was diagnosed with throat cancer. This led to Narendra being instilled as the leader and responsible for making a new monastic order. Sri Ramakrishna was still giving instructions about the formation of the order when on 16th of August 1886, Sri Ramakrishna passed away. After the sad passing of their master, Narendra and his 15 disciples moved to Baranagar, where Narendra assumed his name as Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda traveled throughout India and realized that the real cause of India's downfall at the time was because of the neglecting of the masses. He and his disciples also realized that throughout all the problems, the one thing the masses clinged onto was religion, but they were never taught the principles of Vedanta. Thus, Swami Vivekananda set out to teach the masses secular knowledge to improve their economy and spiritual knowledge to strengthen their morals. This story, and the way he would spread this knowledge was through education. This story ultimately led to the creation of the Ramakrishna Mission and the speeches given throughout the world by Swami Vivekananda. He has given the entire world a new perspective on the spiritual side of humans and strengthened the mental qualities of many people using Vedanta principles. Thank you.
Great job, Sanket. Now I ask Satakshi.
Hello all, my name is Satakshi Das. I'm going to give a quote from Swami Vivekananda, and I'm also going to talk about how I feel about this quote. The quote is, "Whatever you think that you will be, if you think yourselves weak, weak you will be. If you think yourself strong, strong you will be." What I think this quote is trying to say to us is we have to have faith in ourselves, and that is a necessity and the most important thing to have in our lives. Well, because if we don't have faith in ourselves, we will not be able to accomplish what we dream of. Also, when we have faith in our true self, we will feel strong because our true self is part of God. But I wonder, how are we supposed to have faith in ourselves? Well, don't you think when Swami Vivekananda went up in front of all those people at the World Parliament of Religions in Chicago, don't you think that he had lots of faith in himself? To be honest, if I was in his place at the exact moment, standing in front of all those people and standing on stage, I would feel nervous. I'm sure that Swami Vivekananda felt nervous too, but he had faith in himself, the most important thing to have. And like he said in the quote, whatever you think, you will be. Well, I hope you understood my tiny talk today, and always remember, Swami Vivekananda's story is an inspirational story and a very inspiring story today to thousands of people. Well, whenever you need faith in yourself, always remember the story of Swami Vivekananda and most importantly, he himself. I'm sure that will always bring you faith. This quote and applying this to our lives will transform our lives and the community we live in. But remember that we need to have faith in ourselves to do good work and not bad work. Thanks for letting me share Swami Vivekananda's teachings and his inspirational quote. And thanks for listening to me today, and happy birthday, Swami Vivekananda.
I think one of the quote by Swamiji, which I like, is the old religion said, if you don't believe in God, you're an atheist, right? But he said, I say, if you don't believe in yourself, you're an atheist, right? So his thing was, it's okay to believe in God, that comes later, but believing in ourselves is very important. So thanks for sharing that story and coming up here and speaking. It takes a lot of courage, so very nice. All right, next, I think the older kids, I think you all already have an order planned. I believe you're starting with Nachiket.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I think we missed one younger child, sorry. Yeah.
You can go next.
Okay, Akshay, come up here. Sorry, buddy.
Hi, my name is Akshan. I'm gonna share a famous quote of Swami Vivekananda. My quote is, "Arise, awake, stop not until the goal is reached." Arise means to get up. That means to know what is right and what is wrong. Awake means to get to work. That means to do the right thing. Stop not means to keep doing the right thing until your goal is reached. For example, my mom told me that I should do SSA, so I know what is the right thing to do. That is a rise. Then I started studying for SSA. That is a way. Then I stopped not until I did the test and got into SSA.
That was inspirational. Great job. All right. Thank you, Akshay, for sharing. All right, Nachiket. Nachiket, take your mic. Take your mic. Is this?
Yeah, I'm good. Today I'll be giving a short speech about Swami Vivekananda's life and a quote that I like which I implement in my day-to-day life. Swami Vivekananda was born on January 12, 1863. His real name was Narendranath Datta. Growing up, Swami Vivekananda was a mischievous and restless child, and his parents often had difficulty controlling him, just like my brother.
Like you when you were younger.
No. Swami Vivekananda met Sri Ramakrishna in 1881. He was 18 years old. He entered Ramakrishna's room with some friends and sang a few songs on his request. Sri Ramakrishna was very happy with his singing and he invited him to Dakshineshwar. He then stayed with Ramakrishna until he became a monk. One of my favorite quotes from Vivekananda is, "We are what our thoughts have made us, so take care about what you think." This quote means that whatever you think, you become that. So if you think you're weak, you are weak. And if you think you're strong, you'll become strong. I try to keep a positive attitude every day and try not to think low about myself.
Very good. Thank you, Nachiket.
Hi, my name is Sagnik Das, and today I'll be presenting a little bit about Swami Vivekananda's life and what I interpret from his life. Before Sri Ramakrishna left his body on August 16, 1886, he gave Narendra, or Swami Vivekananda, instructions about the formation of a new monastic order. After Sri Ramakrishna passed away, his 15 disciples lived in an abandoned building at Baranagar in Kolkata. They formed a new monastic brotherhood with Narendra as the leader, and in 1887 they took the formal vows of sannyasa and acquired new names. Narendra became Swami Vivekananda. It was then that Swami Vivekananda realized that he had a greater mission in his life. Most of Sri Ramakrishna's disciples thought of him in relation to their own lives, but Swami Vivekananda thought of the Master from the perspective of India and the whole world. He asked himself what Sri Ramakrishna's message was to the world and India in particular. So, in 1890, with the blessings of the Holy Mother, he set out for a long journey of exploration of India. During his travels in India, Swami Vivekananda saw the poverty of the masses. He openly declared that the reason for India's downfall was the neglect of the poverty and suffering of the masses. Owing to years of oppression, people had lost faith in themselves that they could improve their lives. So, they didn't think of improved methods of agriculture, village industry, etc. to improve their economic conditions. Swami Vivekananda saw that the masses, despite poverty, clung to their religion, but had never been taught the life-giving principles of Vedanta and how to apply them in their practical lives. So, Swami Vivekananda recognized that the masses needed two kinds of knowledge: secular knowledge to improve their economic conditions, and spiritual knowledge to instill faith in themselves and to strengthen their morals. The question was how to spread this knowledge to all of India. On December 24, 1892, Swami Vivekananda sat on the last rock of India, near Kanyakumari temple, and sat for 3 days and 3 nights. In a single vision, he saw the present and future of India, how she had lost her individuality, how India shall rise only through a restoration of the highest spiritual consciousness. He saw her greatness and her weaknesses. With that, Swami Vivekananda worked towards the new goals he had set for himself in his life: the spread of education and the upliftment of the masses. He had heard of the Parliament of Religions to be held in Chicago in 1893. He decided to go in order to spread his master's message to the world, as well as to seek financial help for his project of uplifting the masses. His speeches at the Parliament of Religions made him famous as a messenger of Indian wisdom to the Western world. He continued to give speeches in the USA and London after the Parliament. He returned to India in January of 1897, and in May he founded the Ramakrishna Mission in order to spread spiritual knowledge in India. The rest of his life he continued to guide and inspire people all around India. Swami Vivekananda passed away on July 4, 1902. He was a hero all around India and one of the greatest leaders in her history. He made sure that the world knew that it was one with God. So, what do I take away from Swami Vivekananda's life? Dedication towards the community. The idea of serving God and his people. We weren't given this life by God to simply make money, get a good job, and live our materialistic lives. We were given this life to realize that our goal should be able to glorify God through whatever path we take in our lives and serve the community. Swami Vivekananda could have chosen to live at peace in his own life with no worries, but he understood Sri Ramakrishna's message to him and decided to recognize India's suffering and poverty as his own problem, one that he would dedicate his life towards fixing. The problem is not with getting a good job and making a lot of money, but when we forget our true selves, our purpose in life. Dedicate yourself to the upliftment of others. I'm not saying that you have to carry the entire country on your shoulders, but small things like donating clothes to homeless shelters, helping out at food banks, etc. can make a huge difference when we all do our personal part. Live your life to the fullest, and always remember Swami Vivekananda and Sri Ramakrishna's lives along the way. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Ansh Mingani and I'm going to do a short presentation on Swami Vivekananda and how he was the first freedom fighter for India. So this book, it's called India, and it's about Swami Vivekananda's life and how he helped India and how he inspired people in India to fight for independence. So this book was compiled by Swami Vivekananda and it was published in 1947, which is the same year India gained independence. So in the preface of this book it says that this book may be found very useful at a time when India is entering on a new era of her history. So this book was published as an effort to spread Swamiji's wisdom on the independence of India across the nation. So his address to his country is that he loved India and he never forgot about India. And he said that India is a sleeping spiritual giant. So he describes how this spiritualism has never declined in India. India has been conquered by the British, the Mughals, but spiritualism and Hinduism has never declined in the nation. So on page 28, Swami Vivekananda says that the feeling of independence which possesses us all shows that there is something in us besides the mind and body. The soul that reigns within is independent and creates the desire for freedom. If we're not free, how can we hope to make the world better? We hold that human progress is the result of the action of the human spirit. What the world is and what we ourselves are the fruits of freedom, of the freedom of the spirit. So this verse is also a spiritual verse, but it's also directed at the population of India. It's explaining how your soul, how you are independent and how you're free, and how other people don't deserve to control what you're doing. He was the first nationalist and he was the first Indian peaceful freedom fighter, and he explains the natural desire for freedom through this book. He says that we can't change the world without independence, and he basically is asking India, why should we sit back and let other people control us? We should be able to do our own thing. We should be able to change what we want. So while he bring immense contributions to the spiritual world, he never forgot his home. It's easy to forget your home. It's easy to forget where you came from if you achieve great things. It's easy to forget your identity. And it's also easy to succumb to those who are more powerful than you, but you yourself are more powerful than anybody. So we should never forget who we are, and we should always fight for what's right. And whenever you think of Swamiji, whenever you think of India, you should always think of Swamiji, because he is the first person who fought for Indian independence. And of course there are many great freedom fighters like Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, but Swami Vivekananda was a spiritual leader and the first non-violent protester of colonial India, and he was an inspiration for many people, including these freedom fighters. So whenever we remember India, we should remember Swami Vivekananda. And on page 18, he addresses to the nation, "Bold has been my message to the people of the West. Bolder my message to you, my beloved country. The message of ancient India to new Western nations I have tried my best to voice. Ill done or well done, the future is sure to show. But the mighty voice of the same future is already sending forward soft but distinct murmurs, gaining strength as the days go by. The message of India is to be to India as she is at present."
Thank you, Ansh. Arjun?
Namaste, my name is Arjun. Yesterday I came back from a month-long vacation to India. In India, I noticed that in a city like Mumbai, hundreds if not thousands of kilometers away from Kolkata, you could see billboards of Swami Vivekananda, travel on Swami Vivekananda Road, and shop at Vivekananda Stationery Store. So my question is, why does Swami Vivekananda have such a profound impact even today? An impact arguably more than that of Sri Ramakrishna. I'd like to think it's because Swami Vivekananda preached action. His goal to arise awakens, not till the goal is reached. He preached about doing, working, and uplifting others. A message resonates in India. Mumbai, known as the city that never sleeps. When I was coming from the airport at 2 a.m., I would see people on streets working. So what Indians have this culture working, hard work, and uplifting themselves and their family members. Swami Vivekananda did not bring a foreign method of worship. He harnessed what was already in the nation and turned it into a way to reach God. That is one reason why Swami Vivekananda is revered, is because his words resonate deeply with Indians. Another reason is because his work genuinely helps others. When I went to the Ramakrishna Mission Center in Pune, the first thing I saw was a huge hospital that could treat everything from the common cold to more severe matters require ICUs or other such equipment. Most of this was free. I talked to a Swamiji who runs a school for 70 kids from the nearby slums. He said these free classes can learn not only spiritual knowledge, also get math help, English help, learn how to use a computer, etc. The work that Swamiji did in establishing this order, not only is it an innate part of Indian culture, but it also has a real tangible effect in uplifting masses. as he said, there is no God besides Jiva. Whoever serves Jiva serves a God indeed. And to think that he teaches us and we know that we have to work hard to attain spirituality. We have to help others to attain spirituality. And that's why he resonates so deeply with everyone across the globe. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Diana, and today I will share one quote from Swami Vivekananda, and then I'll share my interpretation of that quote. Religion is realization, not talk, not doctrine, nor theories, however beautiful they may be. It is being and becoming, not hearing or acknowledging. It is a whole soul becoming changed into what it believes. To me, what this quote means is that religion is not something that should be theories, and it's not something that should just be talked about. It's about realization, and it's about believing, and it's about people actually putting it into practice and actually applying it into your day-to-day lives. That's what it takes for someone to be truly spiritual and truly religious. Thank you.
Thanks, Leon.
Hello, my name is Sharmil Das, and today I'll be interpreting a quote from Swami Vivekananda. My ideal indeed can be put into a few words, and that is to preach unto mankind their divinity and how to make it manifest in every movement of life. My interpretation of this teaching from Swami Vivekananda is that every single one of us is essentially divine. We need to be able to express this divinity that is already in us through the actions we take from a day-to-day basis. We can also manifest this divinity through the four yogas. Karma Yoga, path of unselfish action. Jnana Yoga, path of knowledge. Raja Yoga, path of meditation. And Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion. Each soul is potentially divine, and the goal is to manifest this divinity by controlling our external and internal nature. Thank you, and happy birthday to Swami Vivekananda.
Vivekananda was a visionary of many opinions on the complexity of man. He had a rich understanding of what made man great, what he must do to become great, and what made others lesser than the great man. Many have heard of Vivekananda's quotes on the power of willpower, the power of religion, and the power of knowledge. It is in my contrarian belief that Vivekananda's most introspective and valuable quotes are those that deal with the topic of the strength of man. Any layman may become knowledgeable, may adopt a religion, and learn all the truths of the universe. He may become the world's most renowned intellectual and lead 1,000,000 battles, which end millions of wars. But he may still be a coward. A great man, in Vivekananda's eyes, has many qualities which separate him from the mundane common folk. The first Vivekananda quote I will share about is about the way to live, not as a great man, but to live at all. He says, "They alone who live for others, the rest are more dead than alive."
They alone live who live for others.
Yeah, I missed the word, sorry. Right. In modern day media, it is said that those who live for others are great. They are the postmark of a ready leader. This is mostly because the world we live in now has made it commonplace and even expected to put oneself before others. One strives to further themselves academically, financially, corporately, almost at the expenditure of others' common desires. Vivekananda does not see selflessness as a virtue. He sees it as a requirement of life. This is what makes Vivekananda a true visionary. My next quote is about Vivekananda's beliefs about how to become great. We all must begin at a common starting ground. At birth, we are all born equal intellectually, with the same capability and potentiality to reason as an intelligent being. Vivekananda shares in this quote how great men become great. Learn everything that is good from others, but bring it in, and in your own way absorb it. Do not become others. Vivekananda understands the principle that great men are made. Great men will learn from the triumphs of those around them, and will use this knowledge to their advantage, but will still maintain a distinct sense of identity and purpose. Great men live and learn from those around them, but it is their individuality which makes them great. My final quote is about what truly makes a great man, and what separates them from others. Vivekananda enlightened on this topic. Great occasions rouse even the lowest of human beings to some kind of greatness, but he alone is the really great man whose character is great always, the same wherever he be. The true virtue that Vivekananda believes makes a great man is their sense of identity. To apply the principles of selflessness and immersion of positive influences wherever you go, and let it become a part of your inherent character, is the true path to prominence as envisioned by Swami Vivekananda. Thank you. Okay, I think I'm the last one. Yeah. Okay, my name is Lily, and I'll be talking about Swami Vivekananda's quote, and then what it basically means in a more generalized sense. So it's one of the longer quotes, but he says, there are bullock carts in India. Sometimes a sheaf of straw is dangled at the tip of the pole, a little in front of the bulls, but beyond their reach. The bulls try continually to feed upon the straw, but never succeed. That is exactly how we are helped. We think that we're going to get security, strength, wisdom, happiness from the outside. But we always hope, but never realize our hope. Never does any help come from the outside. So basically, what Swami Vivekananda is saying isn't to not ask for help. In fact, he himself sought guidance from Sri Ramakrishna. But Sri Ramakrishna never gave Swami Vivekananda the answer. He only helped Swami Vivekananda realize the security, strength, wisdom, and happiness that was already within him. And I'd just like to connect that back to society and things like that. Most of what we think about ourselves comes from our society or our parents or our peers. It doesn't really come from ourselves because we've learned to build ourselves from what we experience in the environment. And I think this quote really shows that there isn't really you can get from the environment. Everything really comes from yourself and what you believe about yourself. So always just listen to yourself and realize that the wisdom, the security, and the happiness will only ever come from you realizing your own potential, not other people realizing your potential for you. And we're done.
Thank you very much. Again, very proud of everybody. Let's all give them a big round of applause. Everybody who spoke and others who heard, again, it was a great job. We're really proud of you. Thank you to all the parents also for working with the kids on this. Thanks to the teachers also, Vinod, Shivanand, Jayashree, Naren, Priya. Thanks for all the knowledge that they have shared. All the work that you all do, right? We heard so many of Swami's messages about his upliftment of masses. So again, pupils of Practical Vedanta, you all have been a part of our food bank volunteering, even Karma Yoga at the center, visiting other places of worship to learn about other faiths, like we went to Sikh temples, Buddhist temples, all of that. Again, I'm very happy to see that those messages resonate with you and you shared those. And also, I'm going to take this opportunity to also thank the board members, right, for helping us have this place and committing, and all the Swamijis and the nuns who come here who routinely meet the kids, share their life lessons, and answer questions whenever the kids have those. Abada, would you want to speak something and address?
Yeah, I can.
Sure. I may also, if I may welcome Mr. Abhay Datta, who is the president of our Ramakrishna Vedanta Society of North Carolina.
Pradam to Mahasarada, Sri Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda. Today we gather here to learn the messages from Swami Vivekananda. You already learned, so I'm not giving any more speech. What I'll tell, a little bit of practice is more than ocean of learning. You are reading, you are attending talks, listening, Zoom talk, but now you have to practice. Remember that. A little bit of practice. So that's all I want to say. And thank you all for helping the children for this program. It is for their learning and their growing up, and the help from this center and your support. Thank you all.
Pizza is here for all the children. Good job. So you get
So
pizza
like,
now.
hold on. So like,
We'll have cake cutting, right? Wait, we'll have cake cutting.
so like every birthday party, it's never complete without a cake and pizza. So we'll have a celebration of Swamiji's life. Okay. Thanks everybody. Great job.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Why are there two cakes?
One for you, one for me.
How do you get one for the staff, one for the students?
No. Different flavors probably. So किधर करना है? Yeah, we'll have the kids.
Carrot and strawberry.
Okay, let's.
Yeah.
Huh?